Good evening. You're tuned to Super 6 here on India Today. I'm Akshata Nandagopal. As always, over the next 60 minutes, you can watch out for the top 6 stories of the day. And let's begin this broadcast by breaking down for you the stories you can watch out for. The 6 stories we're tracking this hour on India Today. Story number 1 on Super 6. We'll be breaking down for you over the next 30 minutes the Trinamool Congress being rocked by an internal feud that's playing out in the most embarrassing manner for the party. 2 MPs sniping at each other in angry, abusive rants as videos, messages have revealed the deep factionalism in the party. I'll be breaking down for you all of the details of that rant and what led to it in the first place. Story number 2 is from the courts. The Supreme Court has delivered a landmark judgment on governor's powers to stop a bill and stall it for years. The top court has pulled up the Tamil Nadu governor, but importantly also issued an order that will have repercussions in all states where there are similar government versus governor tussles. And there are far too many of those in the country. So we'll be telling you all about that. Story number 3, which comes up at 6:30 p.m. on Super 6, we'll be focusing on this video. A shocking hit and run in which a man drunk on spirits and on power runs over people one after another, and not once does he hit the brake, not once does he attempt to stop. That man is a Congress Neta, and there's outrage in the streets of Jaipur as locals have claimed there's a bid to shield this monster because he's a Congress Neta. We'll be telling you all about that. Story number 4 on Super 6, the Congress's introspection huddle in Gujarat, where they're mapping out their party strategy and how to take on the BJP. Importantly, also a Gujarat message that they're sending across by having this particular meeting in Gujarat. So we'll run you through the takeaways of that meet. What really have they identified as the core issues they need to focus on, need to battle to overcome the BJP challenge across the country? We'll be telling you all about that. Story number 5 is one of hope and of the miracles of science. An animal that went extinct 10,000 years ago is back. That's the direwolf for you, ladies and gentlemen. The same animal in the Game of Thrones that's been brought back by an American company. And the sheer possibility of bringing back long extinct animals is so exciting, it's got the world talking. We'll be telling you all about that. And finally, on the show, on Super 6, will be our daily IPL roundup. As Punjab take on Chennai Super Kings in Mohali, we'll be giving you a curtain raiser of what to expect on that encounter. So our top story on Super 6, the Trinamool Congress being plagued by infighting and a series of videos and WhatsApp chats that's exposed and embarrassed the party. Let's begin with the video. What you see here is a video released by the BJP in which a non-stop rant by senior veteran TMC MP Kalyan Banerjee can be heard. He refers to a chore woman, all of this is on tape by the way, and then slams her, questions her integrity and whatnot. Attempts to pacify him by colleagues like Derek don't work. Kalyan Banerjee says, let the media hear with the clear intention that everyone should know what's happening in the Trinamool Congress. We're going to decode for you the takeaways, what led to it, what not. But let's begin with the very basics. Listen first to that video that's triggered a storm.
अरेस्ट कराবে হ্যাঁ थोड़ा একটা ছেড়ে দাও প্লিজ মহিলা বলে ওয়ান প্লিজ মোবা মোবা ছোট ছোট বলে অ্যারেস্ট করাবে তাহলে মিডিয়া হয়ে যাবে হোক না মিডিয়া আমি তো চাই মিডিয়া হোক वो কত বড় অসভ্য আমার জানিয়ে ग्रुपिंग में जब होगा तो हम भी कुछ करेंगे देखता है बट आई विल नॉट अलाउ टू डू एनी इलीगल वर्क क्या समझ रहा है हम कोटा में नहीं आया है भाई और उन अलग पार्टी छोड़ के नहीं आया बाकी दिन तुम्हें हमसे झगड़ा करो हम छेड़ दो if you start you have to I will finish no if you start
you are a senior MP
no if you start I will finish it
please
পাশে দুজন বড় পুরুষ মন্ত্রী নিয়ে বেশি জোর দেখিও না আমার কাছে আমার অনেক দেখা হয়ে গেছে
our humble request Dada please
Calls his own colleague a chore. Says, I didn't become an MP with any quota. She's threatened to get me arrested. That's how ugly it got in that video. And this was, by the way, in the EC office. Seen in that video with Kalyan Banerjee, who's on that non-stop rant, are Sagrika Ghosh and Derek O'Brien. Many others, TMC MPs, are also there. Kalyan Banerjee clearly doesn't care. He had a point to prove. That was very clear. Because there was attempts to pacify him, he didn't care. He wanted to send out a message and did so loudly. But who is he actually talking about? Who is he attacking? We'll get to that in a bit, because this isn't the only embarrassing leak for the Trinamool Congress. There are WhatsApp chats also that's proving to be hugely embarrassing and humiliating for the TMC. This got leaked because it's actually an internal group. Kalyan Banerjee and Kirti Azad indulging in an ugly war of words. The exchange is on a WhatsApp group called AITC MP 2024, All India Trinamool Congress MPs 2024 group. What that means is essentially only TMC MPs were on that group. And Kalyan Banerjee again is going after a woman MP. This time he calls her versatile international lady, great lady. These are the words he uses in that rant that he goes on WhatsApp. Here's that full chat first.
I reached Kolkata. Send your BSF and Delhi police to arrest me. Your Home Ministry's connection is very strong. International great lady. Today I congratulate the gentleman who opened the beautiful activities of versatile international lady. That day not a single boyfriend of her stood behind her. This foolish man whom she wanted to arrested by BSF stood behind her. Today of course 30 years famous players stood behind her to get me arrested.
Take it easy, Kalyan. You have had one too many. Don't act like a juvenile delinquent. You have been entrusted with a very serious responsibility by Didi to take everyone along with you. So relax, have a nice sleep. I have no axe to grind with you. I humbly request you as a senior in age to me, not in politics, to kindly take everyone together. Stop your childish and erratic behavior. Act like an adult. Don't instigate anybody. Think with a cool mind. Good night.
Don't advise me, Kirti. You were thrown out of BJP for doing internal politics. You are not senior in age of mine. You wanted to sell the party yesterday. You are still captain of doing internal politics. Your popularity is so much that you lost election in cricket. Let me see your power to get me arrested for your friend. Do not worry. I will go to Durgapur and open your mask. I am discharging the responsibility since 2011. All you have hatched a plan who have come to party when party is in power.
How ugly was that exchange? Essentially, Kalyan Banerjee attacking Kirti Azad, claiming the woman MP along with him have gone ahead and attacked and tried to get him arrested. This is the claim that essentially he's made. Now, let's also tell you who this woman MP is that Kalyan Banerjee is talking about. Mahua Moitra. He calls her versatile international lady. He calls her chore woman. He says, at least I didn't become an MP from Kota. He says she's trying to get me arrested. She's threatened to get me arrested. All of this is against his own colleague, his fellow MP, Mahua Moitra. Kalyan Banerjee, in his rant against her in those WhatsApp chats, calls her sarcastically versatile international lady, great lady, even takes personal jibes, saying not a single boyfriend stood by her, and then even suggests that she has high-flying sources in the Home Ministry, and that's why he dares her to get him arrested in Delhi. So what happened? How did things get so downright ugly between the two TMC MPs? You won't believe how petty the issue is and how essentially all this comes down to one thing, that it's an ego battle. Here's what happened. All of this tussle started with a very small point. It happened because Mahua Moitra wanted a Bengali sweet shop to be opened in Parliament. Mahua started getting signatures for the same. Kalyan Banerjee blocked this move. He was against this sweet shop coming up in Parliament. Obviously, it was some internal petty politics playing out. Mamta's name after that, almost in a tit-for-tat move, wasn't included in a memo which was signed by TMC leaders in EC. And so when Mahua's name wasn't mentioned there and hastily reportedly written at the end, whereas all the others were typed, a showdown played out in the Election Commission office too. Mahua then, after that showdown, reportedly also shot off a letter to the High Command. And that's when Kalyan Banerjee got miffed and went on this rant, caught on video, and then a WhatsApp chats as well. So that's right, believe it or not, this ugliness is over a sweet shop. It's like a school-level fight. It's what's created this deep, ugly and very public feud among senior TMC members of Parliament. It's laughable, really. The kind of low-level internal politics within the party. And again, let me reiterate, over a sweet shop. But here's Shogato Roy, another senior leader in the TMC, with his 2 cents on the fight. He's claimed he even saw Mahua crying in Parliament over this. Listen in.
Mahua was crying, and she was going to several MPs, also other parties, to complain about Kalyan's behavior. At that time, a number of our party MPs, both gentlemen and ladies, they were gathered and they were discussing that Kalyan's behavior could be not tolerated anymore, and everybody should repeat to our Suprema Mahua Moitra. Kalyan is known for his intemperate and uncivilized behavior. I feel strongly, I feel that Kalyan should be removed from his post of Chief Whip of the Parliamentary Party immediately.
So Shogato Roy, they're taking the side of Mahua Moitra and saying what Kalyan Banerjee did was unacceptable. What does Kalyan Banerjee have to say for himself? Well, here's what he claims happened. He says a day before all of the chaos broke out, he got a message from Derek O'Brien. And the message stated that 27 TMC MPs will sign a memorandum. Mind you, all of this was after that whole sweet shop drama. This message stated that 27 TMC MPs will sign a memorandum. The memorandum was to be submitted at the EC office the next morning. So Kalyan Banerjee, along with several other TMC leaders, reached the EC office, and there he claims Mahua Moitra charged at him, that Mahua accused him of not including her name in the list of TMC leaders signing the memorandum, and she says that he did it deliberately. Now, there was clearly an abusive rant at each other. They fired at each other. Kalyan Banerjee also hit back at Mahua Moitra. Then, according to Kalyan Banerjee, Mahua Moitra then went to the BSF and asked them, the officials present there, to arrest Kalyan Banerjee. And that's when he lost his cool. And the video that you see recorded right after is of his rant in the EC office saying she's threatening to arrest me. Who is she to go ahead and do that? A chore wants me arrested. That's right. He called his colleague Mahua Moitra a chore, a thief. Listen in to what Kalyan Banerjee has said.
আমাকে একজন মহিলা এমপি বলছে আমার নাম নেই কেন, আমাকে দিয়ে সিগনেচার কালেক্ট করা হয়নি কেন, নেওয়া হয়নি কেন? আমার যার ইনস্ট্রাকশন সেই অনুযায়ী আমি কাজ করেছি। ইনস্ট্রাকশনের বাইরে তো আমি কাজ করবো না, নাম নিয়ে আমি কি করব? শুধু যে সমস্ত এমপিদের থাকতে বলা হয়েছে তাদের মেসেজ পাঠিয়ে দিয়েছি। কারণ তারা যে এতে আসবে সেটাও আমি জানতাম না, সেটাও আমাকে কখনো কমিউনিকেট করেনি। দেন সি সাউটেড দ্যাট যে ডেলিভারেটলি আমাকে সিগনেচার করে না। আমার ডোন্ট কোয়ার্ড উইথ মি, আমার সঙ্গে ঝগড়া করো না। দেন সি ওয়াজ শাউটিং at the top level. I was also shouting, no doubt about. In the meantime, সেই ভদ্রমহিলা দৌড়ে চলে গেলেন বিএসএফ কে গিয়ে বলছে arrest my MP, arrest me. ভাই, আমি 40 বছর রাজনীতি করছি, কংগ্রেস, সিপিএম, বিজেপির বিরুদ্ধে লড়ে এসেছি আমি। আপনারা দেখছেন কিভাবে আমি পার্লামেন্টে লড়ি। আমি শুধু আদানি আর মোদির বিরুদ্ধে লড়ি না, আমি সবাইকার বিরুদ্ধে লড়ি। সেই মহিলার আর কোনো ইস্যু নেই মহিলা এমপির, একটি আদানি আর একটা নরেন্দ্র মোদী। অন্য বিজেপির কোন নেতাকে চ্যালেঞ্জ করে না, পশ্চিমবাংলার কোন নেতা সম্বন্ধে কিছু বলে না। তো আমাকে তো সেটা দেখলে হবে না। আমি এখন ন্যাচারালি তারপরে আই ওয়াজ এক্সাইটেড। আপনারা ভিডিওতে দেখেছেন, আমাকে বলছে অ্যারেস্ট করো। আর এরা কারা? দিদি শুধু বলে দিক ভুল হয়েছে, রাজনীতি ছেড়ে চলে যাব, আমার অত রাজনীতি নিয়ে অত কিছু নেই। কিন্তু ওই মহিলা, অসভ্য মহিলা এমপিকে আমি সহ্য করবো না। 18 মিনিট বলতে দিতে হবে, 20 মিনিট বলতে দিতে হবে। হোয়াট ইজ দিস? I can take pressure of everyone, but I cannot take the pressure of that particular MP for saying যে আমাকে এত মিনিট অ্যালটমেন্ট করতে হবে।
So Kalyan Banerjee has broken his silence. We're yet to hear from Mahua Moitra on what she has to say, though some MPs who are on her side have spoken out on her behalf. Mamta Banerjee, what does she have to say about what's happening in her party? She's obviously miffed, reportedly upset with her netas for this very public outburst and the ugly exchanges Sources have told us that MPs have been asked to calm down, not to fan this feud further. She's also issued a gag order telling all MPs to remain silent, not to interact with the media over what happened. That's barely been followed because right after the director Saugata Roy has spoken out, Kalyan Banerjee has spoken out. So it's clearly out of hand really for Mamata Banerjee. But the question looms right now. Who exactly leaked these WhatsApp chats between Kalyan Banerjee and Kirti Azad? This was a WhatsApp group that had only TMC MPs. So clearly someone within the group had to have shared it for it to reach now the national media and all of your phones as well. The BJP is, of course, having a field day with this controversy, which is months to go for the Bengal elections. They're saying that someone within the TMC leaked these messages to go ahead and teach a lesson to Mamata Banerjee, and that this exposes the factionalism within the party.
आज मैं पश्चिम बंगाल की जनता के सामने यह प्रश्न रखना चाहता हूं कि यह कैसी पार्टी आज सत्ता में है जिसके कि सांसद, ये तृणमूल कांग्रेस के सांसद संसद भवन के मुख्य गेट पर महामहिम उपराष्ट्रपति की मिमिक्री करते हुए दिखाई पड़ते हैं और अब संवैधानिक संस्था चुनाव आयोग में जाकर एक दूसरे के बारे में इस प्रकार की हरकत करते नजर आते हैं। इससे बहुत साफ है कि वह पश्चिम बंगाल जो अपने मर्यादित और सुसंस्कारित आचरण के लिए पूरे भारत में प्रसिद्ध है, जिसे बंगाली भद्र लोग कहा जाता है, तृणमूल कांग्रेस की सरकार में उसने उस भद्र लोग की गरिमा को तार-तार करते हुए अमर्यादित और अभद्र आचरण की पराकाष्ठा दिखा दी।
এই বিষয়টা সম্পূর্ণভাবে দিল্লির সংসদীয় দলের বিষয়। এই বিষয়ে এখান থেকে কোনো মন্তব্য করব না। কল্যাণদার সিনিয়র নেতা, দক্ষ আইনজীবী, দীর্ঘদিনের সাংসদ এবং কোনো কারণে তিনি রুষ্ট হয়েছেন এবং পরবর্তীকালে যে ঘটনাগুলো আপনারা আমায় জিজ্ঞাসা করছেন, এটা আমাদের শীর্ষ নেতৃত্ব তাদের নজরে এসেছে, তারা দেখছেন। একটা এত বড় পরিবার হতে পারে কখনো কখনো একটু 10টা থালাবাটি একসঙ্গে থাকলেও একটু ঠনঠন আওয়াজ হয় লেগে গেলে। তো সুতরাং সেখানে আবার দেখবেন সবাই একসঙ্গে আছে, কোনো ইস্যুতে একটু হয়তো একটা রাগারাগি হয়েছে, কিছু একটা ঘটনা ঘটেছে, বাদানুবাদ হয়ে গেছে।
Okay, let's bring in Indrajit Kundu, who's joining us live from Kolkata with the latest updates on this. Indrajit, this is hugely embarrassing for the Trinamool Congress that this kind of a fight among senior members of parliament is playing out in full public view. Run us through the steps that the Trinamool Congress is now taking for damage control, because Mamata Banerjee, we understand, has also stepped in now.
Well, very, very embarrassing, Akshita, for the Trinamool Congress. And coming as it is, both the leaks, the video and the WhatsApp chat screenshots from the BJP. So the principal opposition party here in West Bengal leaking those things out in the media is a bigger embarrassment for the Trinamool Congress. And it has only been corroborated by the all-guns blazing press conference by Kalyan Banerjee, a veteran Trinamool Congress MP in the heart of New Delhi. And this has, literally opened a can of worms, because we knew that not all was well within the Trinamool Congress party higher ranks. There has been factionalism, and now it's out in the open. We are given to understand that the equation between Mahua Moitra and Kalyan Banerjee, who's also the chief whip of the party in Lok Sabha, has been strained for some time. Now this is out in the open. And Kalyan Banerjee has not just attacked Mahua Moitra, he's also gone all guns blazing against another veteran MP, Saugata Roy, who has in fact now demanded that Kalyan Banerjee be sacked as the chief whip of the party. The ball is clearly in the court of party supremo Mamata Banerjee. She, of course, the party has put a gag asking everybody. You just heard Kunal Ghosh saying that when in a big family there are, differences of opinion that prop up, one should not put those things in public. But it is the principal opposition party who is actually playing that out, putting all these things out in the public. But who leaked it? As you have just rightly mentioned, that's the big question.
But Indro, what are you sensing from the high command? Do they believe Kalyan Banerjee is in the wrong here? Do they believe Mahua Moitra is in the wrong here? Is there going to be action against any one of them or both of them?
Well, it's unclear. There's a stoic silence within the TMC leadership higher-ups. They are stunned by, Kalyan Banerjee's tirade today. I have been trying to reach out to Mahua Moitra. Sources close to her say that she has written to Party Supremo Mamata Banerjee and she expects Mamata Banerjee to take some sort of a decision. Kalyan Banerjee, on his part, has already threatened that if Mamata Banerjee says that he is wrong, he is ready to put in his papers. On the other hand, Shougata Roy has demanded Kalyan Banerjee's resignation. So clearly, the party's parliamentary party, at least, seems to be completely divided, with some supporting Kalyan Banerjee, whereas the rest, and I know a lot of female MPs, they do not approve of the kind of behavior that Kalyan Banerjee has met out, and that is public now in the video. So they have also requested Mamata Banerjee to take note of this and take some stern action. We'll have to see what kind of action is initiated by the Trinamool Congress High Command.
It seems almost like TMC leaders now are picking sides between Kalyan Banerjee and Mahua Moitra. And Mamata Banerjee will be looking to kind of quell all of this deep divide within the TMC. Thanks very much, Indra, for joining us with those details. We've got breaking news coming in. Let's cut across to that. The central government, in a big development, has filed a caveat in the Supreme Court. This is on the petitions that have been filed challenging the Waqf Amendment Act. Now, the government has essentially requested the court to ensure that their stance is also heard during the proceedings of the case. So the government already taking steps at a time when 12 petitions have been filed before the Supreme Court, and sources have told us that those cases will come up on April 16th in the top court. Anisha Mathur is joining us with more details on this. Anisha, the central government wanted to be made a part of the case, trying to ensure that when the Supreme Court hears these petitions, their version is also heard.
Well, yes, Akshita. Remember, some of these petitions have asked for a stay on the implementation of the Waqf Amendment Act, and if that kind of a matter has to be heard by the court, the centre making it very clear that they want to be heard before any such stay orders are passed by the Supreme Court. Of course, a caveat has been filed. The hearing in these matters is going to be now next week. So we'll have to wait and see how the Supreme Court takes these, whether the issue of stay is heard, how exactly this entire situation plays out. But we are seeing a major legal battle ahead when it comes to the Waqf Amendment Act. Back to you.
All right, Anisha, thanks very much for getting us that update. More breaking news coming in. And news coming in of a clash that's been reported between police and protesters in Bengal's Murshidabad. This protest was over the Waqf Act and there was in fact violence that broke out during this agitation. Police tried to stop the protesters from marching forward, which is what led to this clash. You're seeing incidents of arson also being reported as a result. This has happened in Murshidabad of West Bengal as vehicles have been torched by the protesters. Ugly clash breaking out. These were anti-Waqf Act protesters essentially, and they'd come together attempting to march on the streets of Murshidabad. The cops immediately blocked them off, citing law and order and the fact that no permission was granted. It's led to these images coming in of protesters hitting back, resorting to arson, torching vehicles, and also it looks like pelting stones at police officials. Let's bring in Indrajit for more details on this. Indrajit, what's the situation currently in Murshidabad? How did it go so out of control?
Well, Akshita, this afternoon there were major protests that were lined up in Jongipur in Murshidabad district, and things went out of control after police tried to disperse the crowd because they were blocking a road. And while the police tried to disperse the crowd, there was mild force that was used. Clashes erupted between the protesters and the police. There was stone pelting. Police had to lathi charge and then fire tear gas shells. Those who were protesting, they retaliated and they set 2 police vehicles on fire. We are given to understand that some police personnel have also been injured. There were additional forces that were rushed to the area in Jangipur, and finally this evening the situation has been brought under control. But clearly Murshidabad, this is not the first time, has witnessed such protests. You would remember even during the anti-CAA protests that had taken place a few years back, there were massive protests that took place in Murshidabad in which train stations were also vandalized. So police on the vigil right now. they are on an alert. But clearly, things went out of control for some time, in which 2 police vehicles were set on fire, and we are given to understand that some security personnel have also been injured.
Okay, security personnel also unfortunately injured in this incident. Any update, Indrajit, on the current situation? Have things been brought under control now in Murshidabad?
That's right. Things have now been brought under control with additional security forces reaching that area. Things have been cleared and the crowds have been dispersed. This happened, sometime earlier today, later in the afternoon. But things are under control is what the police in Murshidabad are telling us.
All right, Indrajit, thanks very much for joining us with those details. Images coming in right now from Murshidabad of the kind of violence that broke out after, in fact, an anti-Waqf Act protest turned violent. You've got also a reaction coming in from the BJP on this, as BJP IT cell chief Amit Malviya has also put out a statement saying West Bengal is up in flames. Amit Malviya saying communal violence has erupted, Muslim mobs taking to the streets in protest against the Waqf Act. Mahua Moitra has lost control over vast regions of Bengal which have become inaccessible to the state administration due to an unnatural demographic shift and illegal infiltration. Amit Malviya has said that essentially Mahua Moitra has lost her grip of many parts of Bengal, and he's blamed illegal infiltration for these kind of protests against the Waqf Act. Malviya also saying, record here, all Mahua can do now is grovel in anticipation of votes. She must go in 2026. So the BJP upping the ante over these incidents of violence that have been reported now in Bengal. Let's get you details now of what really played out in the Supreme Court over the Tamil Nadu government's plea against Governor R.N. Ravi. Major legal victory for the Stalin-led Tamil Nadu government as the Supreme Court ruled that Governor R.N. Ravi's decision to withhold assent for 10 crucial bills was both illegal and arbitrary. And the Supreme Court with that has said automatically assent has been given for these 10 crucial bills. The Supreme Court also stated that the governor has no authority to reserve bills for the president's consideration after withholding assent. Essentially, that once he's withheld assent and sent it back to the assembly, if the assembly sent it back to him, he cannot again go ahead and refer it to the president. The bench emphasized that the governor should have granted assent when the bills were returned to him after being repassed by the assembly. And the court, very importantly, has now set a time frame, saying from 1 to 3 months is the amount of time a governor can actually take to decide on a bill, to either withhold assent or reserve the bill for the president. Not longer than that, which means that's an order that has repercussions not just for Tamil Nadu, but every single state, and every single state that's fighting it out with the governor for the exact same reason. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin has welcomed the move, said that this is a victory for all states. And he's also said that Tamil Nadu government will always work for the people. There's been no statement yet from the Tamil Nadu Raj Bhavan.
இந்த தீர்ப்பு தமிழ்நாட்டுக்கு மட்டுமின்றி இந்தியாவில் உள்ள அனைத்து மாநில அரசுகளுக்கும் கிடைத்த மாபெரும் வெற்றியாகும். திராவிட முன்னேற்றக் கழகத்தின் உயிர் கொள்கையான மாநில சுயாட்சி, மத்திய கூட்டாட்சி தத்துவம் ஆகியவற்றை நிலைநாட்டிட தமிழ்நாடு போராடியது. தமிழ்நாடு போராடும், தமிழ்நாடு வெல்லும்.
The governor was acting in defiance to the advice of the Council of Ministers. The governor was acting in defiance to the will of the people, namely when the legislature enacts a law, he sat over the bills indefinitely, and he went to the extent of first returning back the bill, and when the bill was reenacted and sent back to him, he did not adhere to the provisions of the constitutions, and he forwarded the bill to the president, which was in violation to the constitutional provisions. Because of the actions of the governor and because of the delay being caused in granting assent to the 10 bills, the assent has deemed to have been granted. So thereby, the bills need not even require the signature of the governor for his assent. In place of the governor's signature, the Supreme Court has given its seal of approval for these bills.
Now that Supreme Court has said this, I think this is a clear-cut direction to all governors not to exceed their brief. They should not try to interfere in the administration of the state, regular administration of the state. When special situation arises, that's when governors have to play a role. And for every bill, if there is any genuine concern, they have every right to send it back to government for a explanation or for a verification. But they cannot sit on legislations. And we have seen governors in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala, and wherever opposition ruled states are there, how badly they have behaved, how they have been misused by the Modi government. So this is again shows how the country is being run today. There is no democracy.
Okay, let's bring in Anaga Keshav joining us live from Chennai with the latest on this. Anaga, what are the reactions that have come in from Tamil Nadu? Obviously, this is a huge boost for the DMK, who's been fighting it out with the governor, of course, particularly over the fact that their bills have been stalled repeatedly at the governor's office. Has there been any statement that's come in from the governor, Mr. R.N. Ravi?
We have been hearing is only from the DMK clan. We had the Chief Minister, Deputy Chief Minister, PTR and the entire cabinet set of ministers who have reacted to this matter, calling this as a victory for democracy in India. They are stating that this is going to be a huge moral boost for southern government because remember, the friction between the governor and Tamil Nadu government has been simmering for months now. Over 10 bills were pending to get its assent, but it turns out because of Supreme Court's nod, now all those 10 bills have been given an assent is what we are hearing. Adding to that is the fact that now because all 10 bills have been given an assent, this means that a significant chunk of governor's power will be taken away, and that will include that he no longer continues to serve as a chancellor, number one, and number two, he no longer can appoint vice chancellors in Tamil Nadu universities, and that includes Dr. MGR Medical University, Ambedkar Law University, Madras University, Anna University, all top-notch universities, educational universities in Tamil Nadu. The governor no longer serves as the chancellor and can no longer appoint a vice chancellor.
Okay, thanks very much, Anaga, for getting us those details. Clearly now, there's been a reality check of sorts for the Tamil Nadu governor, who's been battling, of course, the Tamil Nadu government on almost every single step, every single decision. But let's break it down for you. What are the constitutional powers of a governor? And why has there been the Supreme Court's intervention in this matter? Important to highlight one particular article of the Constitution, Article 200. It's under Article 200 of the Indian Constitution that powers are granted to a governor to go ahead and grant assent to their bills. Now, here's what the article says. The governor may, as soon as possible, this is what's exactly written in Article 200, that the governor may, as soon as possible, return bills for reconsideration if that's what they want. Now, if the bill is sent again by the Assembly, passed by the Assembly, sent back after consideration, the governor shall not withhold assent. That's also clearly mentioned in Article 200. But here's the challenge with Article 200 of the Constitution. While it says as soon as possible, there's no specific time frame mentioned. There's no mention of what does as soon as possible, how is it defined, which is why governors with that particular mention of no specific timeline would go ahead and take their own time in passing bills. Now, however, the Supreme Court has set the time frame to 1 to 3 months, which is why it's so crucial, because right now with Article 200, there was no specific mention. So putting the spotlight on the Supreme Court verdict right now, what really are the big takeaways? First is, of course, like I said, there's a timeline for governors to decide on bills. Second, that timeline is essentially 1 to 3 months' time. 1 to 3 months' time is all that the governor has now to take a call on the bill, especially if they want to return it. The governor cannot reserve for a president's nod for a second time. If he or she sends the bill for reconsideration and it comes back passed by the Assembly a second time, they cannot push then again for a president's nod and then keep the bill waiting again. The fourth takeaway from the Supreme Court order is that the Supreme Court has said the governor must act with the advice of the state cabinet, with the aid and advice of the state cabinet, which is also how constitutionally they've been asked to act. Takeaway 5 is that the governor cannot use Article 200 to go ahead and derail bills. I just told you what Article 200 says. It gives power to the governor to give their nod for these bills. And so this article, because it doesn't specify an exact time frame, cannot be used to derail bills. The Supreme Court has very, very clearly said that. I want to bring in Anisha Mathur for, in fact, more details on this. Anisha, interesting order that's coming from the Supreme Court. And at a time when we've seen so many such government versus governor tussles playing out, what really does this order mean? What impact does this verdict have on other states too?
Well, Akshita, very clearly, as you've said, this is a very, very important verdict that will have an impact not just for the Tamil Nadu governor, but also several other issues that have cropped up in the last several years. First of all, the most important being, of course, that now there is a timeline set by the Supreme Court for governors to take a decision. We've seen multiple such instances in the last few years. There are two petitions pending, in fact, one by the West Bengal government and the other by the Kerala government on a similar issue of delay by governor. In 2023, we saw the Punjab government coming to the Supreme Court. We've seen Telangana government coming to the Supreme Court. There have been instances like this in Karnataka, in Rajasthan, where the dispute between the government and the governor have led to such delays. And now the court very clearly saying that the constitutional functionary, that is the governor, must act according to the constitution and not according to ephemeral other considerations. That is a very pointed statement also being made by the Supreme Court on this issue, a very pointed comment being made that the timeline has to be there, and the court has exercised its plenary jurisdiction under Article 142, which is an unprecedented situation, because earlier in the other matters, the court simply said, well, the governor must act expeditiously. No timeline was ever set when such matters had come before the court earlier. Now a timeline has been specifically set that if you are giving assent, do it within 1 month. If you're withholding, do it within 1 month. If you're sending it to the president, do it within 3 months. Whatever objections you have, send it back within 3 months. A maximum of 4 months can now be taken by a governor if he sends a matter to the president. The president sends it back, and then it takes time for the assembly to give its to take action on that. So a
time frame established,
been set,
and this is obviously going to have repercussions on every single state, where inevitably the tussle is over exactly this, over bills being stalled and sitting with the governor's office forever. Thanks, Anisha, for joining us with those details and breaking down really what the Supreme Court order means. Let's move on to our other big story here on Super 6. The hit-and-run incident reported in Jaipur. Shocking video that's emerged of how a man drunk on spirits, drunk on power, because this was a Congress neta, went on a rampage and didn't stop his vehicle even once, despite mowing down people repeatedly. He was drunk and he killed 3 people while injuring 7 others. So in all, 10 people who are affected as a result of this man being drunk and inebriated. This incident took place last night in Jaipur. The car clearly speeding, the white SUV that you see there going through the streets of Jaipur, rams into several bikers and still doesn't stop. You can see the car going over some of these riders and still no attempt to hit the brake, no attempt to slow down. The driver keeps going. Now, this led to 3 people dying. Before anyone could react, the car causing this widespread havoc, hitting 10 people, and then tried to get away from the spot. But he was fortunately caught by bystanders and handed over to the police. He's been arrested. The car has been seized. The accused has been identified as Usman, a Congress leader, and was reportedly drunk at the time of the incident. And this is why I said he seemed to be drunk on power too, because eyewitnesses accused the local Congress MLA of attempting to shield the driver as well, leading to widespread protests in Jaipur. The Congress has distanced themselves from this man, from the accused Usman. He's now been expelled from the party.
भीड़भाड़ इलाके में जिस तरीके से इस शख्स ने गाड़ी ड्राइव करी और कितने 9 लोगों के करीब जख्मी हो गए और 3 की तो मृत्यु हो चुकी है। मैं रात को भी स्पॉट पे गया था और हॉस्पिटल में भी रात को 1 बजे तक था। मेरी सरकार से एक मांग है आपके चैनल के माध्यम से कि पीड़ित परिवार को न्याय मिलना चाहिए, सरकार उनको उचित मुआवजा दे।
जो कल घटना घटित हुई है उसके अंदर पुलिस के द्वारा प्रकरण दर्ज किए गए हैं और प्रकरण दर्ज कर लिया है, आरोपी को गिरफ्तार कर लिया है और उसके अंदर उसकी जो गाड़ी थी उसको हमने रिकवर कर लिया है और उसके अंदर अन्य जो 6 लोग एडमिट थे हॉस्पिटल में, उनमें से 3 लोग डिस्चार्ज हो गए हैं और दुआ करते हैं कि 3 लोग भी जल्दी ही वहाँ से डिस्चार्ज हो। इसके अंदर 3 लोगों की कल ही मौत हो गई, एक की सुबह 4 बजे हुई थी, तो टोटल 3 लोग हो गए।
सामने से ना ये क्रेटा वाला कुचलता हुआ मेरे सामने एक लड़की को कुचला, मेरी बाइक को टक्कर मारी और मैं साइड में बाइक को कुचलता हुआ ले गया कम से कम 20 मीटर तक।
Let's get you details now of what's happening in the Congress's introspection meet, the 2-day meet that's currently underway in Gujarat. Rahul Gandhi has just spoken, and here's what we've picked up on his message to Congress workers, to Congress cadre. Rahul Gandhi has said that the Congress must focus on putting the focus on minorities, saying we should keep raising issues that the minorities face. He said, don't fear criticism on minority issues. Rahul Gandhi essentially saying the reason that the Congress is attacked constantly by the BJP is because we're the voice of minorities. Rahul Gautam is joining us live from Ahmedabad with the latest on this meeting. Rahul, take us through really what's transpired so far in this introspection huddle. What is Rahul Gandhi's message really to the Congress?
Well, this meeting, started around 11 a.m. And concluded around 4 p.m. So basically, it was a marathon discussion of 5 long hours. And in fact, what we are learning from our sources that Rahul Gandhi put in a very clear words that the Congress party should not be afraid, should not get scared of raising issues pertaining to minorities. This might be getting or might be drawing criticism from certain sections, but we should not be we should not get afraid, and we should keep on continuing issue that actually affects minority in the country. Now, obviously, this was in the context of the BJP and like-minded parties who often criticize Congress or often label Congress as a pro-minority party. Also, apart from this, Rahul Gandhi in this meeting said that we've been focusing only on Dalits, Muslims, and Brahmins, particularly in northern part of the country, and this has essentially resulted in complete erosion of OBC vote bank from the Congress, and this is what is actually making things difficult for the Congress party to get revived, at least in the northern part of the country. And that's why he said that we should go back and do politics of OBCs, Dalits, Muslims, and also of poor poor people who come from general category. So essentially, Rahul Gandhi in a way is setting the tone for upcoming elections, particularly Bihar, that we should be focusing on more on OBC minority, and and we should not also get afraid from this criticism which BJP often throws at the Congress party, that they are indulging in Muslim appeasement or they are pro-minority. So clearly, as far as this CWC meeting is concerned, it seems that Rahul Gandhi in a way has given a clarity to Congress leaders who came here from all over the country. In fact, there were 180 representatives that actually attended this important meeting. Tomorrow there are going to be national convention of the Congress party where 2,000 delegates and 2,000 Congress representatives will be attending. So you can assume we all can expect that tomorrow again all these issues will be echoing, and you can expect that again Rahul Gandhi
really emerges
will be
from
playing
the
on
meeting.
his sport,
2-day meet that's underway. You just heard from Rahul Gandhi. He's just put out a message saying, speak more about the issues that minority groups in the country are facing. Thanks very much, Rahul, for those details. We will track what really are the takeaways from that meeting. What does the Congress really learn from the recent poll debacles that they've suffered? What is the learning, the takeaway that they take, that they will use in the upcoming elections to maybe perform better? All right, let's move on to also the other story that we promised we'll get you here.